Good evening and welcome to Sctv, Simpson College's first student-run weekly newscast. I'm Jake Brent. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Liv Allen. It's great to be here.
Last weekend, the women's basketball team hosted the ARC Championship against Wartburg.
The winner of the game gets an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. Simpson hasn't been since 2013. Let's get to the highlights of the final.
Matinee action inside Coles Fieldhouse on Saturday afternoon for the Crown. First quarter, Cam Kincaid sinks the three from deep to give Simpson an early 13-11 lead, but Wartburg responds at the end of the first quarter. Sarah Faber gives the Knights the lead with a three at the end of the first. Second quarter now, Cam Kincaid with the offensive rebound, put back, and the foul. She had a huge day. Wartburg now leading. Brittany Young hits from deep, and Wartburg goes into the locker room up 31-28. Third quarter, Kincaid hesitation, goes to the rack. She kept the Storm in this game with a game-high 26 points. Storm down one in the fourth. Cassie Nash spins and finishes at the hoop. Simpson leads 46-45. Anna Wanek now in isolation, gets the first step, the bucket, and the foul. The big crowd loves it. Storm up four now. Reagan Freeland spins in the lane, puts up a floater, and it is good. Simpson leads 54-48. Kincaid ices free throws down the stretch, and Wartburg gets it down three with a chance to tie it. Faber gets the ball, puts it up, and it is no good. And Simpson is conference champions 2 years in a row.
Congrats to the ladies on a great season so far, but it's not over yet. Simpson will be playing in March Madness starting this weekend against Gustavus Adolphus.
Even better news, they will be hosting right here on campus. Sctv was in black box for the team's live reaction during the selection show.
The Simpson Storm
Action gets underway on Friday night at 7:30. President Keller is paying for the first 100 students in the door, so be sure to get there early.
Good luck, ladies. Since the onset of COVID-19, one would assume enrollment numbers would drop for colleges across the nation.
Despite first-year enrollment staying about the same, overall enrollment is down 15.7% since 2018. SCTV's Ethan Humble has more on enrollment at Simpson.
Introducing one of the biggest recruiting tools on any college campus, the student-led tour.
The most exciting part of my tour is showing the new renovations that we have in store, with construction starting this summer and having those renovations be done next fall.
I think just like showcasing the beauty of campus as well. I know it stinks when it's like super cold, but to be able to be on a campus that experiences all 4 seasons, and I don't know, I personally think Simpson is one of the most beautiful college campuses I've ever been on.
And these student ambassadors have a role in admissions larger than even they could have guessed.
We had a student go out on tour. They were down to us and one other school. They went out on that 1-hour tour with a student, and they came back and said, "I'm coming to Simpson." They were done. They had that good of experience over the time on campus, and that goes back to the student voice and how important that is.
One would think this ambassador voice isn't quite as loud in COVID times, but as it turns out, first-year enrollment has remained steady.
The last 3 years, I would say, have been relatively flat overall, but with being relatively flat, not quite where they want to be with overall enrollments in the incoming classes.
And with only a 3% decrease of incoming first years from fall 2021 to fall 2022, it would appear the admission strategy is working.
I think that Simpson Admissions gets a lot of students on campus from many different places.
And while Simpson does attract students from all around, the college is primarily focused around the Midwest.
In terms of overall strategy with our strategic enrollment plan, one of the things that we've done in the last year is really refocused our recruiting in Iowa. We've also developed secondary territories really looking at the Omaha and Kansas City areas.
With regional strategy forefront in admissions, Torres says Simpson partnering with Educational Advisory Board, EAB, should also help bring students on campus.
They're a consulting firm for recruitment, so they provide us with like a lot of information, and they allow us to like get our name as Simpson College as a contact point out to a whole bunch of prospective students.
With these then prospective students finding themselves later on campus as Simpson students.
I predict that we're going to go, after like the first couple of years that we've been partnered with them, we're going to go up steadily. We're going to increase in our enrollment and our admits.
For Sctv, Ethan Humble.
Yesterday, Simpson announced a partnership with Mercy College in Des Moines.
The partnership will allow students to earn a bachelor's degree in biology or health and exercise science from Simpson and a bachelor's degree from nursing from Mercy in approximately the same time it would take to earn both degrees from both colleges.
What a cool opportunity for students going into nursing.
It'll be great for the years to come. Liv, I hear the softball season is underway.
That's right. We started with a road trip down to Texas where we went 2-1.
Mo Marks has the full season preview.
Simpson softball is making its return to McBride Field this spring. The team opened its season in Irving, Texas on Sunday, winning 2 of its 3 matches, including a dominant 14-2 win over Austin. Maddie Lauderman went 7 for 10 at the plate in that game, earning her the title of ARC Softball Player of the Week. It's not all sunny for Simpson Sluggers, though, as the ARC preseason coaches poll saw them ranked second to last in the conference, ahead of just the Loras College Dewhawks. Seniors Liv Erickson and Maddie Seseda Hunt agree that if the team is going to get out of the basement of the conference, they're going to need improvement on defense. Seseda Hunt explained that it's largely a mindset issue, as they'll let one bad inning ruin an entire game. That's certainly what happened on Sunday in Texas, when Dallas scored 2/3 of their runs during one inning in the game where they bested the Storm. Head coach Brent Matias argues that even if the team does poorly in the conference, it's nothing to be ashamed of, as the ARC is the best Division III softball conference in the nation. With a great team and a tough conference, fans of the Simpson softball team are in for an excellent show this season. For SCTV, Mo Marks.
Good luck this season to Liv and the whole team.
Thanks, Jake. The athletics department announced in November the addition of women's wrestling.
They begin competition next year, and they just hired men's assistant coach Jeff McGinnis as the head coach of women's wrestling. SCTV caught up with the new head coach to talk about the future of the sport and the program.
So I've actually been working with recruiting on the women's side well before we announced. We knew we had the program coming in, and so just working with the connections of high school coaches, high school girls that we know would be a good fit for Simpson. So we've got 2 commits as of today. We got a number of other girls that are coming in for some visits in the next few weeks, and so we expect to have a pretty strong, stellar team right off the bat. We've seen the growth in Iowa just explode even before it was sanctioned. There was over 700 or some girls that wrestled at the state tournament this year. Just this last weekend was the AAU girls state tournament, and they had close to 650 or 690. We expect with the sanctioning of that just to continue to grow. We have pretty high expectations. We want to compete, and we want to compete immediately. There are a number of teams within hour, 2 hour, 3 hours distance of us. Wartburg is adding a team the following year, and so there'll be a lot of great competition opportunities for the women, but just coming in right away and getting the women up to speed on freestyle wrestling and getting in as many matches as possible.
Of course, the women's basketball team won the ARC, but the men's tennis team traveled to St. Louis and beat Illinois College and lost to Principia. The track teams competed at the ARC Indoor Conference Championships. The men finished 6th and the women took home 9th. Spencer Moon, Harry Dudley, Max Cleveland, James Murray, and Ryan Courtney all took home all-conference honors.
The softball team started their season down in Texas, winning their first game 14-2. And they split their doubleheader with the University of Dallas while down in the Lone Star State. It's going to be a big spring season ahead. Jenna Taylor was named Conference MVP. Cam Kincaid, Cassie Nash, Kai Rasmussen were all named to the first team all-conference. Anna Wanek was selected to the second team, and Reagan Freeland was an honorable mention, not to mention Brian Nemeth, Coach of the Year.
Wow, what a week for Simpson sports.
And it's going to get even better, and that'll be all for us this week.
We will be back for one more episode before spring break.
But until then, you stay classy, Simpson.